Have you ever noticed how the moment someone ignores you, they suddenly become the most interesting person on earth? Like before that, you were perfectly fine, calm, peaceful, living your life. And then one unread message happens. One scene without reply. And boom. Your brain turns into a full-time detective agency. Did I say something wrong? Are they busy? Are they ignoring me on purpose? Should I send another text, or will that make me look desperate? Congratulations. You've just entered the psychology of chasing someone who ignores you. Let's talk about why this happens, and trust me, it's way deeper than you like them. First, here's a hard truth most people don't want to hear. You're not chasing them because they're amazing. You're chasing them because they're unavailable. Think about it. When someone replies fast, shows interest, and is emotionally present, your brain goes, okay, cool. No panic, no obsession, no overthink. But when someone pulls away, your brain goes, wait. What just happened? And that reaction isn't weakness. It's psychology. Let's start with the biggest reason. Your brain hates unfinished stories. Human brains are obsessed with closure. That's why cliffhangers work. That's why you keep watching one more episode at 2 a.m. And that's why silence feels louder than words. When someone ignores you, your brain doesn't see it as rejection. It sees it as an incomplete puzzle. No explanation, no clear ending, just questions. And your brain hates questions without answers. So what do? You chase. Not because you want them, but because you want clarity. Next reason, ego. Yes, the uncomfortable one. When someone ignores you, it doesn't just hurt your feelings. It hurts your brain quietly whispers, why am I not enough? Why did they choose silence over me? And suddenly, chasing them feels like a way to prove something. Not to them, but to yourself. It becomes less about love and more about validation. You're not thinking, do I even like this person? You're thinking, why don't they like me? Big difference. Now, let's talk about something sneaky. Intermittent reinforcement. Sounds fancy, but it's simple. Imagine a vending machine. You put in money. Sometimes it gives you a snack. Sometimes it doesn't. Which one would you stop using faster? The one that never gives snacks, or the one that gives snacks randomly? Exactly. People who ignore you, but occasionally show attention, create the strongest emotional addiction. One day, they reply sweetly. Next day, they disappear. Then they like your story. Then silence again. Your brain gets hooked on the maybe, and maybe is the most dangerous word in psychology. It keeps hope alive, and hope keeps you stuck. Let's add some humor here, because we've all been there. You tell your friends, I don't even care anymore. But then you refresh their last seen status, like it's a stock market update. You accidentally open their chat, just to see if they're typing. You analyze their emojis like they're ancient symbols. That's not love. That's your brain on emotional caffeine. Another reason we chase people who ignore us. Scarcity. When something is easily available, we value it less. When something feels rare, we value it more. It's why limited edition shoes sell out in seconds. It's why only 2 seats left makes you panic buy. And emotionally, an unavailable person feels rare. Your brain goes, if they're not choosing me, they must be special. But here's the plot twist. Scarcity doesn't mean value. It just means limited access. A closed door isn't always a treasure room. Sometimes it's just closed. Now, let's talk about childhood patterns, because psychology always sneaks back there. If you grew up having to earn attention, love, or approval, your brain learned that love equals effort. So when someone ignores you, it feels familiar, not comfortable. Familiar. And familiar feels safe, even when it hurts. Your brain thinks, oh, I know this game. If I try harder, I'll be chosen. But adult relationships aren't supposed to feel like auditions. Love is not a reward for suffering. Here's another uncomfortable truth. Being ignored creates a fantasy version of the person. Because when someone is silent, you fill the gaps with imagination. You don't see their flaws. You don't see how inconsistent they are. You don't see how emotionally unavailable they might be. You just imagine how perfect things could be. And you end up chasing potential, not reality. Potential is intoxicating. Reality is grounding. That's why people chase what ignores them. Reality hasn't ruined the fantasy yet. Now let's flip the perspective for a second. If someone truly wanted to be in your life, you wouldn't be confused. You wouldn't be decoding Silence. You wouldn't be guessing where you stand. Interest shows up. Effort shows up. Care shows up. Ignoring is already an answer. It's just not the answer your ego wants. And here's the most powerful realization of all. The more you chase someone who ignores you, the more you teach your brain that love feels like anxiety. And once anxiety becomes familiar, peace starts to feel boring. That's dangerous, because real connection feels calm, not chaotic, not confusing, not exhausting. So how do you break the cycle? First, stop asking, why are they ignoring me? Start asking, why am I okay with being ignored? That question changes everything. Second, remember this. Attraction doesn't grow in silence. Attachment does. Silence doesn't mean love. It means uncertainty. And uncertainty is addictive, but not healthy. Finally, understand this deeply. You don't miss them. You miss the version of yourself that felt chosen by them. And once you realize that, you stop chasing people and start choosing yourself, because the right person won't make you feel like you're running after them. They'll walk toward you without you begging, proving, or overthinking. And the moment you stop chasing is often the moment you remember your worth. Funny how that works, right? If this hit a little too close to home, you're not alone. Most of us have chased silence at least once. The difference is, now you know why, and knowing is the first step to letting go.